James Carpenter with Country Living. Welcome to my channel and thank you for watching my videos. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to do a video today on tractor attachments. Now I've seen this challenge going around for the top 5 or top 10, different things like that. I'm going to do my video just a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the attachments, and with that in mind, know that every one of these attachments are important to me because they all have some purpose, and actually some of them are designed to have a purpose, and I've modified the purpose of the tool and used it for other things. So with that being said, I'll take a few minutes and I'm going to walk you around the property here, and I'm going to show you some of the attachments that I have for my Kubota. I actually have 2 Kubotas. I'll show you the other one in the video, and I'll show you this one here in a minute. This one's about a year old. I've got 308 hours on it, so it does get used. It gave me a wake-up call. I never thought it would happen to me, but this whole rollover thing is real. Trust me, I rolled it over. And luckily enough, I got hurt, but it could have been a lot worse. I tore the tendons on this top muscle on the rotator cuff completely loose, so I got to have surgery for that. And I received a concussion known as a hematoma, which is bleeding on the brain. Spent 3 days in the hospital. But let me turn the camera around here and see if it'll focus in on. You see that grass? That's the only thing that I could find as far as damage to the tractor goes. I mean, there were some different oils that leaked out and things, and it was still actually running when it laid over on its side, and it took me a minute to find the key because everything was not where it normally is since we're sideways now. But I got it shut off. It did hydrolock the engine, and I'm an automotive repair shop, so I understand the possibility of hydrolock and how to check for it. So what I did is I bumped the key, and as soon as the engine went, I knew it was hydrolocked. So my lead technician, also my son, he pulled the glow plugs out of it and pumped all the oil out of it, and it runs just fine now. So I noticed some of the people talk about the things that they add to their tractor. Some of the things I've done to mine is I put that hook on there, and if you look down at the bottom of the hook, you got washers. So that thing's nice and snug on there. It fits really well. The balance box, that is a very good plus. It made it so much easier to move dirt and things around because I had to counterweight. The hitch, the only thing I can say about the hitch is where it comes in handy. If I'm backing up and I get too close to something, instead of smashing the balance box, that hitch always hits first and warns me that, hey, we got a problem here. Now, when I did my balance box, I left enough room in the top of it, so I had this little compartment. I got my gloves in there, I got some straps, I got some chains. This guy here is pretty cool. You can wrap it around a tree, and you can pull trees out. Let's see what other add-ons. The mirrors are motorcycle mirrors from the 70s, and they work perfect. They must be for the same side on the motorcycle. So one of them's down and one of them's up, but that really gives me a high view and a low view. And then I'll do a close-up here. All I did was just bolt it right to the loader. So, oh, here's another one. This just happened the other day. This mechanism here had a bunch of linkage that went down to the front bucket. I guess basically what it is designed for is if you want to take the loader off the tractor. Well, anyway, one of the bolts vibrated loose on that, and the thing was falling off and it was getting in my way, so I just removed it from the tractor. As far as I'm concerned, it should be an option. When I bought this tractor, I had no intentions of taking the loader off of it. Another add-on I did, a couple of them here on the bucket. The Piranha tooth bar. You know, you pull the measurements, you send them into the company, and they cut it to fit precisely to your tractor. That's real nice when it comes to digging. And then there's these hooks. I ordered them somewhere online, and I use those occasionally. If I do put a chain on them, I try to put it from one side to the other, and run the chain down between two of these teeth, and that it's not pulling the bucket at a awkward angle. Other than that, I haven't done any other modifications. I know there's I see a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers that they put all kinds of stuff to carry tools and all that. I don't do all that. If I need tools, I'll put them in the wagon and drag them out there. Okay, so that's enough on the tractor. Let's look at some of the attachments for the tractor. All right, I'm sure everybody's seen this one. This one's called the stump remover. Okay, well, what I found is it will remove a stump, but it's quite a bit of work to do it. But what I have found with this particular tool is I can dig ditches with it, and it's great for picking up rocks, these big rocks, larger rocks, because it tucks them in close to the loader so you can lift more weight, and I can move these big rocks around. Okay, so that's the stump remover. I have found a couple different purposes other than removing stumps for that particular attachment. This one is the forks. The forks, besides the bucket and the forks, the two very important attachments. But again, I'm not going to put them in order as to which one's the most important. To me, they're all important. I use every single one of them. So the forks, these are Lamb Pride, as Kubota's brand. Of course, they're designed for the B series tractor, so they're built tough enough for what it can lift. Now this guy here, it's called a snow pusher. All right, and I have subsequently found out that that thing is good for other stuff. If you look down at the runners, you see that mud. Well, it wasn't pushing snow, it was pushing dirt. It pushes it well. You can back drag with it. It levels really well. When I moved those rocks around, the smaller rocks, I was able to raise it up about 3 inches, and it would go through the dirt that the rocks were in and roll out the rocks, and then I could just shove them up into one area and yeah, pick them up and move them by hand from there. All right, so I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute. I'm gonna go into another area and show you some other equipment. Actually, I think I'll start right here. That's the equipment we just looked at, and then I've got a fenced-in area in the back of the shop, and I've got this gate that we built. It's one hell of a gate, one heck of a gate, I guess would be more appropriate. We put these wheels on here. At first I had wheels that held air and they were going flat all the time. These are solid rubber, and if you notice, that thing's angled because it does a sweeping curve when it closes. And what you see here, we parted out a camper one time. I wanted that 454 engine, so we stripped the rest of it down, scrapped it out, and I used one of the windows right here, so if you're on the other side of the gate, you can see what's on the other side. Now this is, I don't know, can we call it a compound? It's the fenced in area. I'll give you a little bit of a view of what you're going to see here. That tent, I used to use that tent for my business. I would have customer appreciation day and I'd put the tent up, or 4th of July party and different things. I pretty much just made the tent a permanent structure. We put these railroad ties in, leveled them, and bolted the tent down, and then eventually that canvas will wear out. And when that canvas wears out, I'm just going to cover this with metal. I'll turn it into a small pole barn, concrete the floor, and have another building. Now over here, let me get a better view so that you can see. All right, it's a shipping container, and what we did was we built this shed over top of the shipping container. So now I've got the 40-foot shipping container to put stuff in, and I've got this shelving unit for my tractor attachments. So let's look at some of the attachments. Okay, here we got the Rural King rototiller. I'm going to point this out. That right there, it never did clip onto the side and stay in place, and it'd work itself loose and get caught on stuff and different things like that. One day I just took it off. I still use it as a jack, but you can see I just set it under there. Now the rototiller normally doesn't sit out. The rototiller's home is that bottom hole right there that's empty. I just haven't had a chance to put it away. Now, this little mower deck don't count. That's off of a Sears mower from the 60s. I collect those, by the way. Here is the Thatcher. I like this, and it has multiple purposes also. It can rake leaves, it can prep the soil for grass seeding, and it can thatch the lawn. So you hook that to the 3-point hitch, and away you go. All right, down here we have a scraper box. Now the scraper box, great tool. It was one of my earlier purchases with the old Kubota tractor, so I've used it quite a bit, and I got pretty good with it. And now you only need it when you need it, but if you need it, you have it. That's all that matters. Now here, this is a finish mower that came with the old Kubota when I bought it. I bought it used. That needs a little bit of work, but I'll get around to it. Here we have a grass seeder that you can hook on the back of the lawnmower and either put down chemicals for your lawn or seed your lawn. This little guy here, they call it the middle buster. I got that at Rural King. If you look, it's basically a plow of sort. And it's great for digging the potatoes. You just drop that plow down and it brings them potatoes right to the surface. Here we have, I think they call it a carry-all, the yellow thing, not the red one. The carry-all goes on the back of the tractor, and I've heard people say you can use it as forks, and yes, you can use it as forks. I used to use it at forks before I got the front end loader and actually had forks, so it does work for that. It looks to me like we got a couple wheelbarrows in the way here. What do we got back here? Oh, there we go. That's I think they call that a Harley rake. Now that guy is really nice for prepping soil, and I actually use it for raking leaves. I can rake the leaves up pretty quick with that. See if I can get you another shot here. Okay. Now this is an aerator. Now you'll notice that I put like a trailer hitch on it. That way I can use that ball on the back of the tractor to hook it up. But it's got its own little hydraulic unit to raise and lower the wheels. It's a professional grade piece of equipment, and I aerate my yard several times a year. So now we have, this is just a plain old scraper blade. Now back before I had the snow pusher, I would put this on the back of the old Kubota and I'd move snow with it. And it did well for a lot of years. Oh, yeah, we don't want to forget the Harbor Freight quick disconnect. I did buy the improved hook. This is not the improved hook. It's in the shop. I haven't really taken the time to put that quick hitch on the tractor. After I got it, I found out that it doesn't match up to some older equipment and different things like that. And as much as I need to switch equipment around, I don't have a problem with just, you know, taking the 3-point hitch loose, putting it on there, tightening everything up. Yeah, it takes a few minutes, but that's everything that's on the shelves. Oh, we didn't talk about this guy. This is a roller, and you'll notice that I welded nuts all the way around on either side. And you're probably thinking, well, why'd you weld nuts on there? What the nuts do is actually, if you don't get a lot of snow, let's say you only get a couple inches, you can hook the roller up and compact that snow, just pack it down. And what I found is the roller would stop spinning because it would slide on the snow. So I basically put studs, like you would studded snow tires. It also has the hitch to hook it up to the back of the tractor. Okay, now this is the sprayer. I do all my own chemical applications, and as you can see, I've had to modify this bar. This is some heavy-duty angle iron. I would catch it on trees and bend that boom and all that, and I got tired of that, so I made one that doesn't bend. I put solid rubber tires on it so that I didn't have to deal with flats. And I'm on about my 4th pump. But you know, you can go to TSC or Royal King and pick those pumps up. They're about $100, I think. But I've got my spray wand, and I got the wand in the back. But I always attach this when I mow. So I mow and I spray all in one shot, which is pretty nice. Okay, so now I'm going to walk over to the shop, show you a couple things in there. Actually, I'm going to back up. I overlooked this guy here. We made this ourselves. Now, it's sitting in front of that mower deck. You got to kind of distinguish between the mower deck and this piece of equipment. But basically, what you want to look at is this black bar here. And this is the attachment where you attach it, and then it goes over. Now, underneath the angle iron, look at those teeth. That's a rebar. So what this ended up being, and I used it for a lot of years with the old Kubota, it's one heck of a rake. So you look at these, they're real soft. These, they're rock hard. But you don't want to thatch with this because it'll pull grass out of the ground. There was another cool thing that I done with some expanded steel. What I did is I welded a chain to this piece of expanded steel, and then you just put the chain around the ball on the tractor and pull that around, and it does a really good job of leveling gravel. Let's say you just put a fresh coat on your driveway, you can drag it with that and get a nice finish coat. Now this is my wagon. It's got the trailer hitch thing on it. Now basically this is something that I acquired over the years. It was a cement mixing tub. And what we did, since we're an automotive repair shop, we parted out an old Dodge Caravan van. We took that rear axle out and we shortened it. And that's the actual rims that were on it. It's got regular automotive tires on it. We shortened that and welded it underneath the wagon, and then we put this tongue on there. And you can carry quite a bit of stuff in this little wagon. It doesn't dump or anything, but it still moves objects around. Now in here, I want to show you this here. You see this 55-gallon drum? What we have is a pump. All right, the hose goes down into the drum to draw the fuel, and then over here you have the applicator that puts the fuel in, and here is the battery that runs the pump. So basically, when I want to fuel my Kubota up, I just nose it in the garage and hook the battery up, turn the pump on, and fill it up. Now this is the old Kubota here. I've had him for a lot of years, and I've gotten a lot of good service out of it. It's got about 900 hours on it. Some of the mods we did on it was this big plate you see in the front. We put this box up here. I can put all my chains in there, and it's good counterweight for the front of the tractor. This is also a B series tractor. Okay, I see what it's got on it. It's got the hitch on the back of it that I pull things with. You can see the ball there. You can flip that ball over and have a different size. Now over here is just one of my lawnmowers. I mow 6 acres of grass, so I've had a lot of mowers over the years. This is a 1980s Groundsmaster. It's a Toro 3-cylinder diesel. Okay, I picked that up for a steal, 600 bucks. I had to put a little bit of work into it, but got it going. But before I picked that Toro up, I had this Groundsmaster. It's basically the same era. The one I just showed you is a year or two newer. But basically this one, when I got it, it was solid rust. I mean, it was just rusted away, and I put the new seat on it, painted it. The engine and everything still ran fine, and the mower deck worked perfectly. I'm gonna take you into one more area and show you the primary mower. It looks like it's dark back here. Let's see if we can get enough light to see this mower. All right, this is a Toro Z Master. I'm gonna open the door, get some light in here. I've gotten a lot of good service out of this tractor here, and you know, I'm looking forward to a new one someday, but right now this one looks pretty rough. I haven't had a chance to power wash anything, and it's already starting to get too cold to do that. But typically it's not this dirty, but it is a piece of equipment and it does get used. Over here we have the backpack blower. That comes in handy quite a bit. And then here we have the chipper. If you want to chip up, it's a Harbor Freight deal. I did a, no, was it a video on this? No, it was the plate compactor. No start right out of the box. Took it back, brought another one home, no start right out of the box. Found out that they had bad switches, bad shutoff switches, so I just bypassed that and kept the second one. Here we got a 6 horsepower weed eater, and I've got other smaller weed eaters like you carry around by hand, and that's a backpack sprayer. The backpack sprayer comes in handy for tight spots you can't get to with the other sprayer I showed you earlier. So that is my description of the equipment. Now, I know one thing you didn't see here, and that's a grapple. That with my property, I don't have the need for a grapple. If I were to buy another new Kubota, I would make sure that I got the front hydraulics to be able to do that, because I believe that you know, a grapple would be nice, even though I don't have a use for it, so I'm not too concerned. So I hope this video helps you a little bit with your decision on what you should buy. Again, I'm not giving you the top 5, I'm giving you all of them, and I'm going to tell you they all come in handy. So I appreciate you watching my video, and you have a great day.